O Great Spirit, Namaste. O Infinite Lord of Stillness, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors of our bloodlines, our adopted lines, our spiritual lines, all of those lineages who have been of help to us. Namaste. Om Shri Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasayaji Namaha. Om Shri Yukteswarji Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yoganandaji Namaha. Om Shri Shaliji Namaha. Om Shri Swami Kriyanandaji Namaha. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, Yanamaha. Namaste. Sweep clear our paths, that this sacred time together be meaningful, that it lift us, that it remove the obstacles, the blinders from our mind's eye. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. Welcome to my heart. Your memories. Your memories are all that you take with you. Your memories are all that you have. Your memories and your judgment of those memories is what you bring into this lifetime and what you take into the next lifetime. Remember your good deeds. Remember your goodness. How? How? There once were two siblings, two sisters, if you will, an older and a younger. And the older sister was 7 years older than the younger sister. Important for you astrologers. When the younger sister came along, there was nothing that she could do right. The older sister looked at her, and she didn't like her. She just didn't like her. The younger sister adored the older sister. The younger sister chased and run with her arms open wide. Sissy, 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 wanting to give her sister a big hug. And her sister felt that she was being attacked. Rather than the welcoming hug, she felt that the child was charging at her. So she pushed her away. The younger sister wanted to share everything with her older sister. Share her ice cream, share her toys, her sticky toys that she had food all over. And the older sister didn't want that. The younger sister was dying to learn to read. Oh, Sissy, teach me to read, teach me to read. And she put her jelly-covered fingers on the books in her excitement. And the older sister pushed her away. No, 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 learn, go away, go away, go away, go away. And so it went on, their whole life. The younger sister wanting the approval of the older sister saying, get away, get away, get away. Leave me alone, leave me alone. The older sister was kind to everybody else but her younger sister. The younger sister, she was a good soul, well liked by many. They reach their later years, become elders. The older sister hosts a family holiday gathering, and the younger sister wants to bring some food. Everybody else in the family is bringing food. And the older sister is still saying, no, I don't want your stuff. I've got everything. No, you can't help me in the kitchen. Just go sit out there. But the younger sister never gave up hope. She kept wanting to give, to be helpful. And the older sister rejected it again and again and again and again. The end of life comes. Older sister's going first, as it should be. And the younger sister approaches the door to the room. Excuse me, sister. Might I come in? In all the years, that was the first time that the younger sister asked, might I come in? The older sister was really taken aback. The first time it didn't feel like her sister was pushing. Her sister asked. She thought about it. She said, well, yes, you may come in. Please, I'm happy to see you. Another first. The younger sister said, I came to thank you. And the younger sister said, you have taught me to stand on my own 2 feet. You have taught me to love. You have taught me to be accepting of others and their foibles. You have given me a great blessing, elder sister. Thank you. And the elder said, you know, I was just lying here, thinking of all of the years that we grew up together and thinking of our relationship and thinking about how since the time that you were born, I pushed you, I pushed you, I pushed you away. I was unkind to you. I said cruel things to you. I kept saying, go, go away, go away, go away. I do not think I was kind to you once. I do not know how you could thank me. Because in looking back, I think I was cruel. I didn't understand you. I found you irritating, always. In fact, this is the first time that I don't find your presence irritating. And I cannot let go of this feeling of dislike of myself. Not of you, but I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm so disappointed that not once until this moment was I kind to you. Not once. I'm so disappointed. The rest of my life I can accept. But this, I feel I failed. And the younger sister said, no, no, no. You may feel you failed, but I think you are a good sister. You taught me to stand on my own 2 feet. You didn't mollycoddle me. Maybe you didn't help me the way you think you should have helped me, but you helped me. When I got that jelly all over your book, and you didn't want me to read your books, I went to read my own books. And I didn't like jelly on my own books, so I learned to wash my hands, so I wouldn't mess up the beautiful books that Mama had given me. When you didn't want me to play with you, I learned to play by myself in my mind, and I began to become friends with others and not rely on you. And all through our lives, sis, you showed me. Maybe not the easiest way, but you showed me. You guided me. And so they departed. One staying upon the earth and the other going to our next life. Now what do you think happened? Well, the younger sister kept saying, every time she'd think of her older sister, ricorda le tue buone azioni del passato. Ricorda le tue buone azioni del passato. Ricorda le tue buone azioni del passato. Sis, remember your good deeds. Remember your goodness, remember your goodness, remember your goodness. But what happened on the other side? Sis all of a sudden is faced with this part of her consciousness, and all she can see is one cruel thing after another that she said, that she did, one unkind thing after another that she said or she did. It's a problem, a petite problem. And there was no judge waiting at the other end, on the other side. There's no judge waiting for her, no judge waiting for you. It was her judgment of her mind. Her judgment of her mind. Of her memory track. Ooh, that's a hard one, isn't it? In the Eastern tradition of living and dying, there's an affirmation that is said when we're moving into the bardo. And it's regarding the bardo of becoming. The bardo is the plane between here and there. And the affirmation is, I will not fear the peaceful or wrathful beings, but know them to be my own projections. And so we have in this life and carrying through the next life, we have our own projections. We have our own views. The thing that influences us in our lives the most is our reaction to life, our attitude, if you will. And you know, I think in many ways attitude is not an English word that really describes fully what the influence is. Now you come into this world with karma. But karma is a word to describe the totality of all of your thoughts, your environmental experiences, your cultural experiences, your familial experiences, all the memories of the past, all the ways that you are influenced, the fresh water that you have to drink or not, the running tap water to use or not. You know, are you born into a life where you are having to carry the gallons of water or roll it along the road every day so that your family can drink water, fresh water? Are you living in an environment where you can turn on the tap or press a little button, just the slightest touch, and the fresh, clean water comes out? Which is the karma that you are living with? Are you living in an environment where you're having to till the land and grow the food that you're going to eat, and it's very limited what will grow what you eat? Or can you walk into these grocery stores and have shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves of more variety than you could ever imagine possible? This is karma. Are you surrounded with good deeds? Are you surrounding yourself with noble people, with noble thoughts, or not? That is your karma. But the most important aspect, karma is the law of cause and effect. And the most important aspect is your reaction, your judgment of every single situation. Every single situation, your judgment of every single situation. Do you have a personality that walks down the street and, says, oh, boy, that person looks beautiful. Wow, look how beautiful that is. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Or the person who walks down and says, gosh, I don't know why they're wearing that color. Why doesn't she do something with her hair? Why doesn't she color it? It shouldn't be that color. Judgment after judgment after judgment after judgment. Now, it's not to say that you're a bad guy or a bad gal. It's just to say that is the nature of your mind at this time. So what are you doing about it? What can be done about it? We have to work to change the patterns of thinking. And the patterns of thinking live here in your memory track, which is inside of the physical body, in your red blood cells, and it is linked to the astral body, where your soul resides. Your soul, your memory track. But what is to be done? What does that say? Your memory and your judgment of your memory are what you take with you. Two sisters, the sister is the symbol of the everyday mind. Doesn't matter if it's older or younger. The sister is the symbol of the everyday mind. One sister pushing everything, all the sweetness, the goodness of life, away, 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 away. No, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. I don't need anybody. I don't need life. I don't need help. And the other embracing with enthusiasm, continually, even when knocked down, continually embracing with enthusiasm. Who are you? Probably a combination of both. Probably not one or the other, but a combination. But along the spiritual path, we must become more of the optimist. We must cultivate that optimism. We must cultivate and recognize, cultivate the ability, the capacity, if you will, to remember. Many of you, many of us, many of humanoids have experienced things on this earth plane that are not nice. That's putting it mildly. Many of you have experienced things that are cruel, that are unkind. People have been cruel to you, maybe physically, certainly verbally, and most certainly mentally, because of the nature of the critical mind. what is to be done? I received a note the other night from a disciple asking a question about one of her students. And the person had said that they've done forgiveness rituals for all these people, for all these circumstances. But the people keep coming to her mind. Why? After she's forgiven them, do they keep coming to her mind? What is the answer? The answer is, well, somewhere in there, you haven't completely forgiven. Have you not forgiven yourself? Have you really not forgiven them? Now, oftentimes people will say, for years people will come to me and they'll say, I forgave them, I forgave them, I forgave them. I did the ritual, I forgave them. But then this period of time opened up, and that son of a gun comes to my mind again. That son of a gun, he came to my mind again. She came to my mind again. That circumstance came to my mind again. Now here's the key. Please hear this. If this happens to you, you have to say, first of all, you reflect, you contemplate. Is there any gluiness here? Is there any stickiness here? Why did this memory arise at this time? Is it a smell? Is it the time of the year? Is it the day? What caused the memory to arise in your mind? And you write about it. Do you need to do anything else? Do you need to go and do another forgiveness ritual? Do you need to ask yourself, stand in the mirror of your mind and say, have I forgiven myself for my part in that? Have I truly seen my part in that circumstance? And have I corrected what I need to correct to make that part harmonious for myself? And don't get upset about it. Oh, for heaven's sakes, don't get upset about it. Just don't get all kerflunked about it. You see it, it comes up. Okay. A few breaths ago, I was talking to my guru, and I was just in an emotional tizzy. I was having some spiritual indigestion, because I saw parts of my personality that I didn't like, that I really didn't like. And I had been working to correct those things that I didn't like for a long time. It felt like a long time anyway. And I went very despondently and said, Guruji, I don't get it. Here, all these practices, all these decades, and now this, now it rises up in the memory again. I was really bummed out. And with this love, just this great love and compassion, he smiled and he said, well, you and me and Shelley too. Wow. You're in a human body, Swamiji. You're having a human life experience, Swamiji. Intensity times duration equals force. You think you've been doing the practice for a long time. How concentrated has your practice been? Has it been really focused and centered? Or are you doing the practice and you're up here, or you're doing the practice and you're over here? How concentrated has your practice been? And that gives you the force. What we forget It was such a relief to hear that. It was such a relief to hear that. Because what we forget is that these habits of criticism of others, these habits of viewing life as good or bad, these habits of viewing life as somebody's going to judge me. And it matters not whether you are raised, your family of origin is raised in a particular theology. All that means is that there is a greater concentration of these thoughts of judgment. But from the time you were little, there are messages that are coming, and your filter of those messages is really dependent upon your karma. Again, are you constantly feeling judged because you are being judged? Are you constantly feeling that, oh, I have to confess my sins because God is going to judge me? Let me tell you, God is not going to judge you. God has accepted you before you even goofed. The word sin means to miss the mark. That's the translation of the word. It means to miss the mark. You stumbled. You have a little rock. You did something that's a little mistake. You just missed the mark. You just get up and walk along and try better next time. You get up and you see what you've done and you say, okay, it's time. Next time I'm going to do this better. And then the next time comes and you stumble again. And you say, okay, next time I'm going to get up. I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do it better. And one of these days, you're going to walk down the path and you're going to see that hole before you fall in it. You're going to see that boulder before you stub your foot on it. You're going to see the emotional storm coming at your work before you dance into your boss's office at the end of the quarter when they're worried about reports being due, etc., etc. You'll recognize, you'll begin to see, oh, I see. Now, most of you have been walking through this life for a long time, and you've seen and seen and seen and seen. But there still are these thought forms that you're feeding. We are feeding. I shouldn't say you, that we are feeding individually and as a group. What are you feeding? For as you feed it, what you feed comes back. What you feed grows. What you feed comes back. What you feed grows. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with, stubbing your toe. There's nothing wrong with being careless as you walk through life. What there is an error, it's an error in not seeing it. But when you see it, you need to say, okay, all right, I did the best I could at that time. Don't make excuses. Say, I did the best I could. I see, I did the best. Yes, I did the best I could. Now, what can I do? What can I think? What can I say? But what can I do that is going to improve? So the next time this time gate opens, the next time this door comes, my reaction will be different than it is now. It will be more harmonious. It will be kinder. So, if you've been studying Kriya Yoga for any time, you know that there's always something that one has to do. That's what Kriya means. Sacred action. The yoking of the mind and the body is in yoga. It's sacred action. What one has to do. first step is to accept yourself. Now, it's very helpful to use this observer practice, mindfulness, if you will. You take your consciousness, a small part of your consciousness, and you lift it 18 inches above the head. That is symbolically lifting outside of the chakra system. All the karma flows through the chakras. So here you're lifting above the chakra system. Now you're lifting a part of your consciousness that has no capacity to judge. Just a recorder, that's all, just recording. You know, these wonderful digital devices that record what they see. Isn't that fabulous? It records exactly what they see. And then just like the chakras, you can go in and edit, right? If you want to put a filter, a blue filter on it, you can put a blue filter on it. The mercury, if you want to put a rose color on it, you can put a rose color. If you want to put red on it, you can put red on it. You can filter those memories just as we're able to do it digitally now. It's kind of interesting the way that's working. The way that digital reality is mirroring your reality as a human. But you take this and you observe. Now, many of you have heard this before, some have not, but you know, the wonderful expression to use is to say, when a thought arises in the mind, to say, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? And let it go. You need to cultivate this. Every time you take a sip of water, you visualize. You're moving up, and you check in. What can you see? What are you aware of in your thought forms rising? What are you aware of in the room, the environment, the people around you? What are you aware of? Come back to your everyday mind and keep returning up. The key is to make a habit of it, to make a habit of continuing to turn to this higher awareness above your everyday consciousness. You're moving your everyday consciousness, you're taking a part of it to your higher consciousness, and you're activating that higher consciousness. Wow, wow. Guess what? That part of your consciousness has no capacity to judge. It has been wiped off the software program. This everyday consciousness, you can judge, you can judge, you can judge. Higher consciousness, it's not in the software. So you can see what begins to happen. It's magic. It's really a miracle, truthfully. You know, 49 days. You do this for 49 days, and it will lock in to your memory track so that you will be able to do it continually for the rest of your life. There will be moments where it will slip, where you become unconscious, if you will, and you're stuck down in the emotionality of the everyday mind. But 49 days, solid practice, 49 days. You know, mark it every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, every hour, so that you are returning here, above, 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 to see. Now what's going to happen? Oh, in the beginning, it may feel like, you know, so what's the big deal? You don't see much. Maybe. Sometimes you see something that's quite, to your mind, perhaps ugly. You see a thought that's risen in your mind, and it doesn't fit your idea of who and what you are. Let's just say. You think it's ugly. Isn't that interesting? Now, a few days, even a few days of doing isn't that interesting, few times, the the subconscious mind says, oh, I think she really wants to see. I think he really wants to see. Maybe I will let some of my memory track come through. Maybe I will let some of my wisdom come through. The majority of your memory is unconscious, small amount. So this much is subconscious and this much is conscious, right? Just a small amount is conscious. You want to expand so that this conscious part includes more and more of the subconscious, and that the unconscious then can move to the subconscious and become conscious. Why? So that you can soften the karma, that you can make your life more harmonious, so that you can do something to let go of the judgments of your everyday mind. So you cultivate this higher awareness. And when a thought arises, and here's the thing, some thoughts arise and they're going to be, it's just chatter. Other thoughts arise and you had them in your everyday awareness and you kind of were paying attention but not really, and then you go higher. You see them. You go higher. And you see the thoughts. There's some thoughts that will arise when you are observing that you will not have been aware of. And sometimes you won't like them. Isn't that interesting? Or, oh, I see. Or, oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Wow, I wonder where that thought came from. Isn't that interesting? That's all. That's all. No, oh my God, how could I think that thought? You must remember, as you're doing this practice, thoughts are eternal. They are immortal. There is no such thing as a new thought. There is only a thought which you are newly relative to. Thoughts are things. Thoughts have vibration to them. They have gravity to them. They have energy to them. They are things. We want to think a new thought to your own consciousness, a thought that is new to you. Not new in the world, not new on the earth, just new to you. So what have I been trying to say? Really, I gave you the observer practice. It is truly, when applied, one of the greatest techniques we have. It allows you, will allow you to transform your everyday life, to transform your next life, to allow you to stop judging yourself. I have a disciple who had a habit of apologizing all the time. He would always say, I'm sorry, everything he said, I'm sorry. And I finally had to say, you got to do something about that. Because you're saying, and I just got a question, let me answer the question. You must not keep criticizing yourself. Now, the person just asked the question, is it possible to say neti, neti, neti when you see the thought arising in your mind? First, see the thought. If you can't just let it go, when you're doing the observer practice, you're trying to be aware of the thought. This is not the same as doing neti, neti, neti. You're just trying to be aware of it. Isn't that interesting? And let it go. Now, if it stays there and you can't seem to let it go because you're clinging to it, you're giving priority to it, and you wish to add the neti, neti, neti practice to it, that's fine. But neti is, that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about expanding your horizon of awareness so you see the patterns of your thinking and you can correct them. The disciple who constantly apologizes doesn't do it anymore. What about the person who constantly makes, that you make a mistake, you make an error, okay? But what do? Are you the kind of personality that calls yourself names? I've seen people, do something very, very minor and call themselves oh, you lump, or oh, this or that, about themselves. You ever done that? Neti. Then you can use neti. Do not call yourself names. That's you judging yourself. But observing gives you the capacity to see the nature of your mind. And that will be a great benefit, because then you can say, oh, I see, this thought has arisen 15 times today. I think I need to go and do something. I need to go do another forgiveness ritual. I need to go meditate. I need to go under the mountain, the waterfall of healing. Now I want to close with one very important point. Very, very important. I began by telling you what you take with you is your memory of every thought, every experience that you have had in this lifetime, and your judgment of that. If you don't like somebody, oh boy, you need to correct that, because the intensity of that piece of karma, that dislike intensity, you are taking with you. You love somebody, feed it, because that you are taking with you. The reason we say so often, remember your goodness, remember your good deeds, is that the mind needs to be trained to do that, to remember. Now, whatever it was went right out the ethers. I'm sorry, it just went. That which was so important to tell you has gone. Let me see if I can draw it back. Your memories and your judgment of the memories. Be aware of time gates. Be aware of earth events that will trigger pieces of karma. Trigger the memory of the karma. The memory. I was doing a ritual with some disciples the other day, and somebody came back to me and said afterwards, I haven't done that ritual in X number of years, and this happened when I did it. And what happened was that a memory of someone that person used to love, or loved at that point in their life, I don't know, they were married, it came up and interfered with her memory track, her practice. It interfered with the practice. And later on in the practice, another memory came up. There are times when you will bump into a memory And remember, it's a memory of a memory of a memory of a memory of a primary event. So you have altered it. You've altered it. Here's the primary event. And then you have added to it and added to it and added to it and added to it. Probably 1,000 times. So it's not the pure event. But if it arises, if a memory arises, it goes back to, isn't that interesting? And then do something. So we are going to do something. We're going to go to the waterfall of healing, the place where one can heal from one's difficult karmas. So I've given you two things. I gave you the observer. I said to use the observer. And now we'll go to the healing waterfall. If you can reflect on this statement that has woven through the theme of today, and really come to an understanding of what it means to you and your personality, and the way you need to retrain your mind to reframe, if you will, but really retrain your thinking to soften your karma. Because your attitude is everything, but your attitude is really contingent upon how you've trained yourself, how you've been trained, what you fed yourself, the noble thoughts you fed yourself. But isn't it frightening? At least it was to me when I first had the thought. It was very frightening to think that I wasn't being judged by somebody else. I was being judged by myself. Oh, that can be far, 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 far more difficult. God is merciful, compassionate, understanding. Always, always, always has accepted you and forgiven you for anything you do, no matter how grievous you think it is. Before you even did it, the divine has understood. Life understands. But you, now, that's another thing. Can you be as compassionate to yourself as the divine is to you? Try. Give it a try for just a moment. It will work. I promise. Namaste. Sitting with your spine erect, focus your attention at the sun center. Turn your head to the left. Exhale twice. Bring your head back to the center. Begin to watch the breath. Inhaling as if through a straw. Pull the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. From the trunk of the body, pull the energy into the spinal column. From the base of the spine, pull the energy up to the sun center. Move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you. Expand it. Sweep it around to the left. Behind you to the right. Encasing your entire being in golden light. And do this 2 more times. Expand that golden light and ascend upward. Ascend as high as you are able. reaching the high place, find yourself in your place of meditation. You see in front of you a path, calls to you. Begin to walk along the path, leading you into a forest. The sunlight pouring through the trees. You easily ascend upward. See in front of you, the path opens. The radiant sun pours forth. There is a beautiful meadow. Bluebirds, dragonflies, filled with flowers and new life. Walking through the field, the path continues. The path returns to the forest, where you ascend very easily higher up the mountain. Halfway up the mountain, you come to a clearing, radiant with light. There is a shrine in front of you. Enter the shrine. The light radiates forth from the back of the shrine. Walk toward the light. You see a pool of light, fed by a waterfall of light. The light is the color that you need. The color is the color. Whatever is right for you comes at this moment. Entering into the pool of light. You feel all the old beginning to melt away, dissolve away, wash away. And you stand now underneath the waterfall of light. The light pours over your crown center, washing away all of the karmas, all of the disease of the mind, the body, all of the worries, the concerns, the heaviness. Karmas are washing away. The light is filling every cell of your being. Om Hum Jum Saha Om Bhuva Svaha Om Triambakam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Varvarukaviva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamritata Svaha Bhuva Ur Om Sahajum Om. You walk forth from the light. Walk through the pool, clothed anew. Leaving the shrine, you find your Ishtadevata waiting for you. The divine is there with you as you return to your place of meditation. Om Hum Jum Saha Om Bhuva Svaha Om Triambakam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Varvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamritata Svaha Bhuva Bhur Om Sahajum Om Om. Feel the golden dewdrops of Ananda pour down upon you at this moment, filling every cell of your being, vibrating the bliss. The light and the bliss vibrate within you. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. Compassion flows forth to you. Let compassion enter every cell of your being. Compassion for yourself. Compassion for all of life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let us join together at this moment. You and your Ishta and you, I and my Ishta and I. Together, let us use the Om Shanti mantra to send forth blessings to all of those in need. First, to those closest to you, who are in need, whom you wish to bless. See their image in your mind's eye. Feel the light radiating forth as you chant Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And now your family. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Your friends. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And now for all of those who are in need of nourishment and encouragement. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those who are living with uncertainty of any kind, who are living without homes, who are living in violent situations, may their way be cleared. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. In your mind's eye, bring forth all of those souls who have been confining others, who have been cruel to others, who have deprived others of their liberty. May they be blessed that they might see. May they be blessed that the karma might be softened. May they be blessed that they might see and transform their thoughts to noble thoughts, to good thoughts, to thoughts blessing all of life. May they have that which they need most to see clearly the hurt and harm and to transform it. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those who are ill of body at this moment, who are getting ready to leave the earth, for they and for their helpers. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those souls coming to the earth at this time, may they be blessed. May their helpers be blessed. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Holding your attention as high as you are able, pour golden light. You and your Ishta and you, I and my Ishta and I. Golden light upon Mother Gaia, pouring the light upon her so that every part of Mother Gaia is covered with light, that all of the hurts upon the earth, upon Mother Gaia herself, that they be healed, that she be healed. That our beautiful host land be healed, that we walk with greater wisdom upon her, see the light pouring upon her. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, Om, Om. Be thou blessed, be thou blessed, be thou triply blessed. Become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. Namaste, Namaskar. Thank you as always for the blessing of your presence, for your spiritual energies here, for helping to pour forth blessings where it is most needed. Thank you. I appreciate it so very much. Shanti. May you feel the goodness within yourself. May all of the wisdom and compassion that you share with others, can you give it to yourself too?